Hi, boys and girls. For reading this week, I thought we would kind of take a little break and do something a little fun. We need to always kind of keep reviewing, retelling a story, remembering the characters, the setting, the problem and the solution, thinking about the beginning, middle, and end, all of those things. So I thought since this is Valentine's week, since we're going to be celebrating on Friday, I thought I would read one Valentine's book every day this week, and we could practice finding some information about that book. So on this lesson, all I'm going to be doing is reading the book and reminding you what these things mean, and then your job is going to be to fill it out, and then in tomorrow's lesson, I will talk about kind of what they should have said in them, just to give you some feedback since we're not doing one together. So we're going to try a lesson that way. So today's book I'm going to read is called Franklin's Valentine. And when we're done reading it, we are going to be thinking about who are the characters. Here, let me scoot you up a little bit so you can see this graphic organizer. So you're going to be thinking about who the main characters are, where the setting is, right? That's where the story's happening and when it's happening. And it could happen in lots of different places, so you could pick a few if it changes. What the problem is in the story and how they solved it, so what the solution is. And I'd really like us to focus on, especially in the problem and the solution, writing complete sentences, okay? That means a capital and a period on each of these. Now the characters, that can kind of be a list. The setting could kind of be a list, but these two, I think, need to be in complete sentences with a capital and a period. Okay, so we'll work on that. So, character, setting, problem, solution. So listen for those things as I read so that you'll be able to fill out this graphic organizer. Here we go. Franklin could count to 10 and back again. He knew the days of the week, the months of the year, and the holidays in every season. Today was Valentine's Day, and Franklin was counting the Valentines he'd made for his friends. He wanted to be sure he hadn't forgotten anyone. "Hurry up, Franklin," said his mother. "You'll miss the school bus." Franklin rushed to find his hat and mittens and boots. He tossed his valentines into his bag. "I'm going," called Franklin, and he hurried out the door. Uh-oh. Do you see something happening? At school, Mr. Owl gave the class a Valentine spelling bee and Valentine arithmetic problems. But everyone was too excited about the Valentine's Day party to think about work. Franklin whispered to Bear, "I can't believe we have to wait until after lunch to give out our cards." "I can't believe we have to wait until after lunch for the goodies," Bear whispered back. So there they are. So they're doing arithmetic, which is a fancy word for math. There. At last, it was time for the party. "You may get your valentines now," said Mr. Owl. And he pulled out his hat, and he pulled out his mittens, and he pulled out a ball and a scrunched up piece of homework. Then he held his bag upside down and shook it. Oh, I think I skipped something. Franklin grabbed his bag and reached inside. He pulled out his hat, and he pulled out his mittens, and he pulled out a ball and a scrunched up piece of homework. Then he held his bag upside down and shook it. "What's wrong?" asked Bear. "My valentines! They're gone!" cried Franklin. Did you see how I accidentally skipped a line there? And as I was reading, it didn't make any sense. I went back and fixed it. Good readers do that. After Franklin looked everywhere, Mr. Owl let him phone home. Franklin waited and waited while his mother searched. "I'm so sorry, Franklin," she finally said. "I found your valentines outside in a puddle of slush. The cards are ruined." Franklin blinked away tears. He gave the phone to Mr. Owl and ran out of the room. Oh, he's super sad. And when you see the cards all there in a pile of slush, yeah. Mr. Owl found Franklin in the cloakroom. "There you are, Franklin," he said. "Your friends are waiting. We can't start the party without you." "I don't belong at the party," replied Franklin. "I don't have any valentines to give." "I know," said Mr. Owl. "Your mother told me what happened, and I told the class." Franklin moaned. "I guess no one's going to give me a Valentine now." Said Mr. Owl. "If Bear lost his Valentines, would you decide not to give him a card?" "I'd never do that!" exclaimed Franklin. "Bear is my friend." "Well, maybe Bear feels the same way about you," replied Mr. Owl. Franklin thought about that. "Maybe," he said. He cheered up a little. Franklin and Mr. Owl went back to the classroom. Franklin watched as his friends delivered their cards. As the pile of Valentines in front of him grew bigger and bigger, Franklin felt sadder and sadder. There were so many, and he had none to give in return. He sighed as he opened Bear's card. "What's wrong, Franklin?" asked Bear. "Don't you like my card?" "I do, but I feel bad because I don't have one for you," said Franklin. "Oh, that's all right," said Bear. "I don't need a Valentine to know you're my friend." And Franklin smiled. Everyone gathered around as Franklin opened his other cards. "Mine's a turtle cutout," said Snail. "Mine's a turtle poem," said Goose. "And I made up a turtle riddle," said Fox. "These are great," exclaimed Franklin. "I just wish I had my Valentines for all of you." "I just wish we could start eating all these goodies," replied Bear, and everyone laughed. Oh, those do look delicious, don't they? That night, Franklin told his parents about the party. "It sounds as if you have some very good friends," said Franklin's father. "I sure do," agreed Franklin. "Next year, I'm going to make them extra special Valentines." "Well, you've got a whole year to get ready," replied his mother. "I don't know if I can wait a whole year," said Franklin. The next morning, Franklin's mother found him at his table, writing and drawing and cutting and folding. "What are you making?" she asked. "It's a surprise," Franklin answered. His mother smiled. "Well, hurry up. You'll miss the bus." Uh-oh. That's what happened last time. Let's see. But Franklin didn't hurry. Oh, good. He wrapped his artwork carefully and placed the package in his bag. He made sure that all the buckles were done up tight, and then he hugged the bag to his chest and went out the door. Oh, he learned about rushing. That's good. As soon as Franklin got to school, he opened his package and gave everyone a card. "What are you doing, Franklin?" asked Beaver. "Valentine's Day was yesterday." "Oh, these cards aren't for Valentine's Day," replied Franklin. "They're for Friendship Day, and Friendship Day can be any day you want it to be." That's the end. So now you're going to think about this book. Who were the main characters in this book? There's definitely one main character, but you maybe could think of at least one or two others. Where was this story mostly happening? I think you could probably pick two places that this story was happening. Maybe even a when, right? It's pretty specific about when this story is happening and where. The problem's pretty obvious. What was the problem in this story and how did Franklin solve it? Okay? Fill this out about this book and we will fill it out tomorrow. Well, I'll have it filled out and we'll talk about it tomorrow before I read you a new book. Okay?